and welcome to the Science Video Quiz. My name is Professor Science. Today we are going to discuss clouds. After you've learned all about clouds, some of my friends will quiz you on, you guessed it, clouds. Clouds can bring all kinds of different weather conditions. Fluffy snow to play in, cold ice storms to watch from your window, and sometimes dreary days filled with rain. But what controls clouds? Why do clouds form? I will answer these questions along with many others. Are you ready? Let's go. Clouds are very important to our Earth for many reasons. They bring rain, relief from the hot sun, and temperature changes. However, to understand how this happens, you have to learn some cloud basics. Like for instance, there are 4 layers of the atmosphere: the troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, and thermosphere. Clouds form and become active in the troposphere, which is from the ground to 7 miles upward. From 7 to 30 miles upward is the stratosphere. A minuscule amount of water vapor or dust is found here since the air from the troposphere and stratosphere do not mix very much. Planes cannot reach the mesosphere because it is too high. However, a very large helium balloon can. It is quite cold here, about 90 degrees below Fahrenheit. And lastly, the thermosphere is about 50 miles up and extremely warm. Temperatures range from 930 to 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit because of the sun's intense radiation. Wow, now that's hot. So we know that clouds occur in the troposphere and that weather conditions develop in this active layer of Earth's atmosphere, but maybe we should be asking another question, like what is a cloud? Scientists have found 2 factors that are always present in the formation of clouds. Wherever a cloud forms, there must be moisture in the air. And at decreased temperatures, that invisible moisture will condense into a visible liquid. That liquid is a cloud. Clouds of varying sizes, shapes, and levels can be found within the troposphere. There are 3 main cloud shapes. No, they're not grouped together by what they resemble. Each shape gets its name from a Latin word, the language used for many scientific systems. The current system of classifying clouds is important because the name not only tells you the shape of the cloud, but also its elevation. Here are the basic shapes and their Latin names. Cirrus clouds are curly or stringy and occur very high in altitude, about 3 miles above the ground. Because they are primarily made up of ice crystals, their location indicates a distant storm whose cold winds have created them. The other 2 shapes, cumulus and stratus, occur rather at low levels, about 1 mile from the ground. Stratus clouds are a thinly spread layer that occur just after a fog has lifted. While cumulus clouds are lumpy and clumped together. Scientists have taken these 3 basic shapes and added Latin suffixes to describe changes in the cloud's shape and elevation. When a cirrus cloud begins to gradually spread out, it is called cirrostratus, which stays above 3 miles. A halo around the sun, caused by the cloud's ice crystals, indicates the coming of rain, usually within 24 hours. However, cirrus clouds sometimes break into small, fluffy clouds called cirrocumulus clouds. These also occur 3 miles above the ground and signal an approaching warm front. Stratus clouds, usually lying below 1 mile in altitude, can thin out slightly and rise to an elevation of up to 3 miles. These clouds are called altostratus. An increase in altostratus clouds usually indicates rain or snow for long durations of time. The opposite effect, stratus, becoming increasingly fluffy and heavy, creates stratocumulus clouds, which stay at a low elevation. These clouds are a precursor to an approaching cold front. And did you know that fog is a cloud? That's right. Fog is basically a low-forming stratus cloud that is very close to the ground. Fog mainly occurs in areas with cold, moist air. For example, areas that have great amounts of fog tend to be near water because the air is moist and the temperature falls overnight. When moist air is cooled, the water vapor in the air condenses and develops a fog. The fog cloud is then burned away by the midday sun. This type of fog is called ground fog. Believe it or not, just as there are many different types of clouds, there are many different types of fog. The location and the environmental conditions of the area determine which type of fog forms. Now finally, large billowing structures known as cumulus clouds occur below 1 mile. When these clouds break up in several medium-sized clouds, they rise to an elevation between 1 and 3 miles above sea level. They are known as altocumulus. Cumulus clouds can also grow to massive towers known as cumulonimbus clouds. This large cloud structure ranges in elevation from just a few feet off the ground to about 7 miles high. These are the rain-bringing clouds that begin a storm. Wow! I hope you were listening carefully because it's time to answer some questions about what you've learned so far about clouds. Good luck!
Hey there, this is a pretty close race with all these questions around me. Let's pull a quick move to get by some of these guys. In which layer of the atmosphere do clouds and weather occur? A, troposphere, B, stratosphere, C, mesosphere, or D, thermosphere? What do you think? Prior to write an answer, time for me to get my head out of the clouds and do another lap.
Well, howdy. Before the roundup here, let's lasso up a question for y'all. Which layer of the atmosphere is the warmest from the sun's radiation? A, troposphere, B, stratosphere, C, mesosphere, or D, thermosphere? Well, what do you think, partner? Choose your answer wisely and write it down. I'm off to the lasso class, but I'll see y'all later.
Hello, I am Quisitor. I was just calculating the height of a small cumulus cloud as it gains water vapor and mass. But anyway, see if you can answer this. A cloud is formed by A, wind and ice, B, condensed water molecules, C, expanded water molecules, D, warm air and wind. I will use my processors for that one. Use yours too, and write down a response. This is Quisitor, logging off. Off. Beep.
Hello! You'll never believe the number of requests I get for cloud-shaped balloons. Will I perfect my shaping abilities? Try this one. The current classification system for clouds is in what language? A, Greek, B, English, C, Latin, or D, Spanish? I would say the answer's in the clouds, but that's what we're talking about. So write down an answer while I get some more balloons.
Starstruck here at the opening of another fabulous movie. It's All About Clouds by the hot new director, Stratosphere. Which two types of clouds occur about 1 mile from the ground? A, cirrus and cirrostratus. B, stratus and cumulus. C, cumulus and cirrus. Or D, stratus and cirrus.
Do you know the answer? Did you write it down?
What do you think? Get your answer on paper now while I try and snag an interview with Mr. Sphere. Hey, oh, Mr. Sphere, over here.
I'll let you sail the ocean blue, but only if you're able to predict the weather. Prove yourself with this one. When a cirrus cloud breaks up into smaller, fluffier clouds, it becomes which type of cloud? A. Cirrocumulus. B. Cirrostratus. C. Altocumulus. Or D. Stratocumulus. If you know that already, you're a cloud expert. Write your answer down, matey, and I'll see you on the next dock.
If it's 3 wishes you ask for, all you must do is answer me correctly. Good luck! An increased number of altostratus clouds indicates what for a long period of time? A. Fog. B. Rain. C. Snow. Or D. Answers B and C. How did you do? Pick one and write it down. I'm being summoned. Time for me to evaporate.
We're ahead now. Keep up the good work, and the game will be ours. Try this one now. For fog to form, what 2 characteristics must the air have? A. Moist and cool. B. Dry and cool. C. Moist and warm. Or D. Dry and warm. Okay, team. What do you think? Get an answer down. Let's move. Move. You can do it.
Hi, Sandy Space here. You might think that because I'm out of the Earth's atmosphere, I don't know anything about clouds. Well, I do. It's just that they look really different from up here. Which cloud is known for bringing rain? A. Stratocumulus. B. Altocumulus. C. Cumulonimbus. Or D. Cirrocumulus.
Okay, write down your answer. Time's running out.
Any idea? Great! Write down the answer while I check my controls.
Hello, guys and gals and the rest of my pals. Ricky Wave broadcasting live from KVQZ, Science Quiz Radio. Radio for your head. It's time to hear the swinging tunes of the Cloudettes. And away we go! The what of each cloud indicates the approaching weather conditions. A. Size. B. Color. C. Speed. Or D. Shape. Well, how was it? Could you dance to that one? Okay, maybe not. But you've got your answer down and we're ready for Professor Science again. This is Ricky Wave, signing off.
Welcome back. It's time for more cloud facts. The study of the Earth's weather conditions and cycles have long been the focus of many scientists' investigations. One of the earliest weather theorists was the Greek philosopher Aristotle, who lived from 384 to 322 BC. In his famous work called Meteorologica, he stated that water, air, fire, and earth were the 4 basic components of weather. He was correct about 2 of the factors, water and air. Today, weather forecasters, known as meteorologists, read the sky using the cloud information you just learned. With the help of computer-aided instruments, meteorology has become an exact science. Just as meteorologists did before computers, we can make simple assumptions about upcoming weather conditions by observing the clouds. Clouds have particular shapes and exist at different altitudes because of the air that surrounds them. For instance, a meteorologist can look at a cirrus cloud and know the approximate temperature of the air around it. Because cirrus clouds are made up of ice crystals, they are usually found in cold weather and appear approximately 3 miles above the ground. If that cirrus cloud has a mare tail, a streak coming down from the cloud, then the ice crystals are being released, probably in the form of snow. Knowing those important pieces of information, the meteorologist can predict a temperature below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Can you believe that all this weather information comes from just looking at a cloud? When a cloud releases any form of water, whether it's rain, sleet, snow, or hail, it's called precipitation. All precipitation begins with a temperature change. Water vapor in the air cools and condenses, creating a cloud. The condensed water molecules are usually in the form of ice, but we don't always get snow. When the ground temperature is much warmer than the temperature of the cloud, we get rain, sleet, wet snow, or hail. However, when the ground temperature is closer to the cloud temperature, thin sheets of ice crystals and snow fall. So really, the type of precipitation your area receives depends on the ground temperature. One of the most popular misconceptions of clouds is that they are slow-moving and almost always weightless. How often have you seen a cartoon featuring a big, white, fluffy cloud that easily breaks apart and floats away? Real clouds are not like that. Clouds move with the wind currents. That means if the wind is blowing southeast at 50 miles per hour, then the cloud is moving southeast at 50 miles per hour. Clouds don't appear to be moving that fast because we see them from a distance. Now, think about a cloud floating in the sky, far above us. It looks soft and pillowy, like it's floating on air. Well, it is. But clouds aren't exactly light. Clouds are air masses with condensed water molecules. Cumulus clouds can weigh 500 million grams. That's 550 tons. Unbelievable! Of course, that weight is spread out over a large area. It seems impossible that air can hold that much weight, but it can. And the warmer the air is, the more it can hold. For thousands of years, people have tried everything to create rain on demand. In the last 40 years, scientific experimentation has created a method called cloud seeding. Cloud seeding was developed with a foundation in chemistry. It is a way to encourage tiny cloud droplets to grow large enough to become rain or snow. This method of artificial precipitation is commonly used over mountain ranges when small amounts of snow have fallen in the winter season. Cloud seeding is also used to increase rain from summer clouds to avoid drought. Most recently, inducing rain earlier than a cloud would naturally has been an effective way of avoiding damaging amounts of hail. Now, how is that done, you ask? Well, scientists have determined that extremely cold carbon dioxide, also known as dry ice, and a compound called silver iodide causes ice crystals to form in clouds, thus acting as a base from which large water molecules can grow. These water molecules are the cloud's precipitation. Once the clouds are completely filled with large molecules, the water is released. But how do the water-causing compounds get into the sky? Airplanes can fly above and below the clouds to release the chemicals into the clouds. And that is what we call weather modification. Besides being able to predict weather conditions, a cloud's effect on sunlight can tell us what's inside. When a cloud is filled with water droplets, more sunlight is reflected back into the atmosphere. The Earth is then darker and more dismal in appearance. But when clouds are filled with ice, their crystal shapes allow more sunlight through the clouds to reach the ground. Phew! Time for a few more questions. Get your pens and papers ready, because here come questions 11 through 20. Good luck.
Hey, we're in the last leg of our cloud adventure. Show me what you're made of. What is the study of weather? A, meteorology, B, cloudology, C, weatherology, or D, radiology? What do you think? Pick an answer and write it down. Let's shift into high gear for the next lab.
Hi everyone, starstruck at the latest premiere. I always want to be first at these events so I can see the really big superstars. Speaking of being first, do you know the answer to this one? Who was one of the earliest weather forecasters? A, Democritus, B, Socrates, C. Aristotle, or D. Professor Science? I'm sure you know the answer. Write it down while I try and get an autograph.
This is the home stretch here. Think and react carefully. Weather predictions become more accurate with the help of which type of technology? A. Television, B. Computers, C. Walkmans, or D. Video games?
Quick, write down your answer. Okay, time's up.
Very interesting. Maybe I could use technology in my workouts. Let me think about that while you write down your answer. I could videotape the drills, monitor their lifts.
I'm prepared for anything. Sun, rain, sleet, snow, anything. Are you? How can a meteorologist predict weather conditions? A. By reading cloud formations. B. By reading an almanac. C. By watching the moon. Or D. By observing animal behavior. I don't know. How can a meteorologist predict weather conditions? Do you know the answer? Well, write it down then, and let's move on. It's getting a little warm in here.
Woo, that Bronco was a tough one. While I try and catch my breath, let's see if we can rope this next problem. What is one factor that determines the form of precipitation? A. Wind speed. B. Size of the cloud. C. Ground temperature. Or D. Time of day. Y'all handle that just like professional ranchers. Write down your answer so we can mosey on over to the next question.
Hi there! You won't need 3 wishes if you know the answer to this one. Which of the following is not a type of precipitation? A. Rain, B. Sleet, C. Snow, or D. Dust? And I've been through all of them. Make sure to write down your answer while I disappear.
Hello, fellow sailors. You can take the wheel of my mighty ship if you can answer this question correctly. Which factor determines how fast a cloud moves? A. The sun. B. The Earth's rotation. C. Wind speed. Or D. Gravity.
Good job, everyone. Now let's see those answers.
Arr, mateys, that'd be a tough one. I'm sure you know the answer, so write it down. Time for me to get the crew in ship shape.
Hello again, guys and gals. DJ Ricky Wave coming to you live from KVQZ Science Quiz Radio. It's time for the next fabulous question. How much does an average cumulus cloud weigh? A. 100 grams. B. 200 grams. C. 5,000 grams. Or D. 500 million grams. Whoa, that's heavy. Think about that one and write down your answer. Stay tuned for the next question.
Boy, this has been one of those hectic days. We're getting ready for lunch and there's just so much to do. Help me out and answer this. Which technique induces the release of precipitation from a cloud? A. Meteorology. B. Cloud seeding. C. Cloud harvesting. Or D. Rain harvesting. Way to go! You are so smart. I feel better already. I think I'll go back in for some more practice. See you later.
Hello, I am Quizador. Time to download another question for you. Stand by. What two compounds are used in cloud seeding? A. Silver iodide and frozen carbon dioxide. B. Silver nitrogen and frozen carbon dioxide. C. Silver iodide and frozen carbon monoxide. D. Silver nitrogen and frozen carbon monoxide. Can you recall the answer? Please write it down and await further instructions from Professor Science. That is all.
You were all great! I have really enjoyed our cloud lesson. I hope you have learned some interesting facts and some basics to help you read the clouds in the sky near you. Remember to stay tuned after the video if you want to check your answers. That way, you'll be able to see just how you did. See you next time!
Okay, good job. Here come the answers.
Question 1. A. Clouds and weather occur in the troposphere. Question 2. D. The thermosphere is the warmest layer of the atmosphere. Question 3. B. A cloud is a formation of condensed water molecules. Question 4. C. The current cloud classification system uses Latin terms. Question 5. B. Stratus and cumulus clouds occur 1 mile from the ground. Question 6. A. Cirrocumulus are formed when a cirrus cloud breaks into smaller, fluffier clouds. Question 7. D. Rain or snow result from increasing amounts of altostratus clouds. Question 8. A. Air needs to be moist and cool for fog to form. Question 9. C. Cumulonimbus clouds bring rain. Question 10. D. The shape of a cloud indicates the weather conditions. Question 11. A. Meteorology is the study of weather. Question 12. C. Aristotle was an early weather forecaster. Question 13. B. Computers greatly aided the accuracy of weather forecasting. Question 14. A. Reading cloud formations helps meteorologists predict weather conditions. Question 15. C. Ground temperature is one factor that determines the form of precipitation. Question 16. D. Dust is not a form of precipitation. Question 17. C. Wind speed determines how fast a cloud moves. Question 18. D. The average cumulus cloud weighs about 500 million grams. Question 19. B. Cloud seeding induces the release of precipitation. Question 20. A. Silver iodide and frozen carbon dioxide, or dry ice, are two compounds used in cloud seeding.
Bahela halaba. I'm talking too fast. Goodbye, yellow brick road.
View all 10 titles in the Science Video Quiz Series.
Atoms.
Clouds.
Classification.
Forces.
Motion.
Climate and seasons.
Fossils.
Mitosis.
Meiosis.
Water cycle.
For more excellent videos, check your teacher's video company catalog or call us toll-free for a new catalog at 1-800-262-8837.